Okay, so hi, my name's Ryan Wardell. Today we're going to be talking about revenue, specifically what you can do as a business owner to increase the revenue in your business. I want you to imagine that you've got a little control panel in front of you, and that control panel has 3 different levers on it, levers that you can pull and push and adjust to increase the revenue in your business. So the first lever that you can pull is price. So one of the simplest ways to increase the revenue in your business is simply to up your prices. Now, a lot of small business owners are reluctant to do this. They're worried about upsetting their customers. They're worried about losing business to their competitors. So you've got to be really careful about how you approach this. And even if your prices right now make a lot of sense, 2, 3, 4, 5 years go by, your wage costs increase, your supplier costs increase, your rent increases, and you've kept your prices the same. So even though your business is growing, your business is becoming more successful, you're still not making a huge amount more revenue. At some point, you're going to need to increase your prices. So with that in mind, here are 3 ways that you can increase your prices without upsetting your customers too much. So the first and most important thing is always give them plenty of notice. Whether you send them out an email, whether you send them a letter, whether you give them a phone call, even just a little sign on your countertop letting them know that your prices will be changing at some point in the future. All of that's really helpful. If you're going to send them an email, quick tip, send them 3 or 4 just in case. It's really easy for emails to just slip by, so you want to make sure that people have at least opened the email and read it first so they're aware of what's going on. The second point, which is kind of related there, is saying that your prices are changing as opposed to your prices are increasing is always a good idea. I know that sounds like a really minor point, but it sounds a little bit less confrontational. Somebody who increases their prices is just after more money. Somebody who's changing their prices, hey, you know, my business is evolving and expanding, and we need our prices to reflect that. The third point is every time you increase prices, make sure you increase them by enough so that you won't have to change your prices again for another year or 2. So if you're increasing prices 1 month and then the next month your prices go up and the following month your prices go up, that's going to really annoy your customers. They don't know how much things are going to cost. They get the impression that you don't really know how to run a business, and that's not ideal. So what you want to be doing is every time you make the decision to increase your prices, think about how much do we need to increase them so that we can leave them there for the next year or 2 without having to touch them again. And that's the amount that you want to be increasing them by. So the second lever that you can push and pull and adjust to influence the revenue in your business is AOV. That stands for average order value. Now what you're trying to do here is every time a customer comes into your business and makes a purchase, you're trying to increase the amount of money that they're spending by getting them to buy multiple items in one go. There are 3 ways you can increase the average order value. So the first way is upselling. Now upselling is when you try and persuade a customer to buy a more expensive version of the product or service they were originally trying to buy. A classic example is if you walk into a cafe and the customer says, I'd like a coffee, and you say, would you like the small size or the large size? If they buy the large size, you've upsold them and you've made an extra 50p. The second way you can increase the average order value is to cross-sell. Now cross-selling is where you sell the customer other related products and services. So let's use that cafe example again. Say a customer walks in and they say, I'd like to buy a cup of coffee, and I say, awesome, would you also like to buy a muffin or a slice of cake? Okay, related products. So instead of spending £2.50, they're now spending £4.50 or £5. We've doubled the average order value just by asking one simple question. The classic line, do you want fries with that? That's a cross-sell. The third way that you can increase the average order value is bundling different products and services together. So let's use that cafe example a third time. A customer walks in and says, I'd like to buy a cup of coffee, and you say, would you like the coffee and cake special of the day? It's going to cost you £4.50. You could buy them individually, but that's going to cost you £5, so it'll save you a bit of money if you buy them all bundled together. And when you bundle items together and just have a single price, you don't have customers thinking about, well, I want that, but I don't want that. Maybe I could just, you know what, I just want the coffee, and then they walk out. What we're trying to do here is minimize the amount of thought that a customer has to put into this. We're just making it as easy as possible for customers to spend more money. Again, to use that fast food metaphor, if you walk into McDonald's and you buy a Big Mac, and they say, do you want fries with that? And then they say, okay, do you want a drink as well? You're probably better off just buying the meal, and then you end up spending £9 instead of the original £5 you were planning on spending. That's how you increase the average order value. Now, if you can look through your business and find similar products or related products and services that you can upsell or cross-sell or bundle together in order to increase the average order value, that's going to really help you increase the revenue in your business. to increase your revenue is the number of transactions per customer per year. So we've spoken about price so far, increasing the price to increase your revenue. We've spoken about increasing the average order value to increase the revenue in your business. But what if you could just get a customer to come back one more time and spend more money with you? That's the simplest, easiest way to grow your business. And a lot of small business owners tend to neglect this one. They tend to focus on trying to attract new customers all the time instead of getting their existing customers to come back and spend more money. So the advice that I'd give you is look at your existing customers and think about what can we do to get them back. Really simple way to do this is a loyalty program, and that might be as easy as going to a printer and getting some little cards made up, stamp them every time, and on the 10th purchase give them something for free. If you own an online business, there's a lot of software tools that you can use that are linked to email that will automate all this stuff for you. However you want to do it, the important thing is that you're rewarding your customers for coming back and spending more money with you. Which leads me to the second point here. Another easy way to increase the number of transactions is to collect your customers' email addresses and or phone numbers and make sure you get permission to contact them. That's the other important part. I went to a restaurant once upon a time, and the way they did this I thought was really clever. So at the end of the meal they came around and said, "Oh, would you mind entering your name, your email and your date of birth?" And I said, "Why?" And they said, "Well, in this restaurant we have a policy where everybody eats free on their birthday. So enter your details in here and we'll send you an email a week before your birthday letting you know if you'd like to come in and have a meal with us. The meal will be totally free." Now the reason why this is so clever is because nobody goes out for dinner on their birthday alone. If I go out, I'm going to bring 3 or 4 friends at the very least, and they're going to get 3 or 4 customers for nothing. It's cost them the cost of 1 meal, but they've gotten 3 extra customers, and all they've had to do is send a single email out. So that's a really simple example of using email marketing effectively in an offline business, and it's something that a lot of business owners overlook when they're thinking about things we can do to increase the revenue in our business. So if you as a small business owner want to increase the revenue in your business, remember to visualize it like this. There are these 3 levers that you can pull. The first one is your price. Are we checking our pricing every few months against our competitors to see whether we're undercharging or overcharging, or are we in about the same ballpark? If we need to increase our prices, are we doing it all in one hit so we don't have to increase our prices again for another year or 2? Are we making sure that we tell our customers ahead of time that our prices will be changing? Importantly, our prices will be changing, not our prices will be increasing. The second lever that we can pull, the average order value. Are we looking at our business in terms of what we can upsell, what we can cross-sell, and what products and services we can bundle together, so that every time a customer comes into our business and makes a purchase, we're maximizing the average order value of that transaction. And then the third one here is to increase the number of transactions. So we spoke about a few ways you could do this. A loyalty program is really easy. There's software tools that do that. You could print off some cards and get them stamped up every time a customer comes in. The other easy way, of course, is to collect email addresses and phone numbers and consent from your customers to contact them, and make sure that you've got a simple email marketing or phone marketing process in place for contacting your customers and encouraging them to come back to your business and make another purchase. Thanks.